Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Metal Wings. I'm back at it on the Roland MV-8000. Had a couple people comment on my videos asking me to do some more on the MV, do a beat start to finish. Had someone who just got an MV a week ago. They've been trying to work with it, but you know, it's sometimes slow learning on the MV. I remember when I first got mine, I was so excited. Got it out the box, turned it on, thought I was going to have some fire in 30 seconds. Turn it on, and then hit that stumbling block. Had to figure some things out or what have you, dig into the manual, and then, you know, many years later, here I am. I can move around, navigate quick. In many ways, I'm quicker on the MV than on the computer, whatever have you. So, anyways, I'm going to try to keep it real efficient here and simple with this little tutorial, but I'm also going to try to show, you know, everything I think you would need start to finish to make a beat. So pattern mode, what it's good for is pretty much if you like to work in that MPC workflow where you like to sort of build patterns and then you can assign each pattern to a pad. If you do live stuff, if you play your MV live or whatever, or planning to do that, pattern mode could be cool for that because you make a pattern and then boom, you just trigger it from the pads. For me, I like to work in sequence mode, which is the mode I'm in now, where it's just a linear, it's like any DAW, you know, you can sort of lay down your tracks and patterns. This is kind of exactly how it's going to be formatted in the song, whereas when you're working in pattern mode, you're sort of building each individual pattern, and then you're going to place it together later. Like you could even record your whole song sequence by triggering the patterns. So sort of format it live. So it's a matter of like, do you want to build your beat hitting pads and triggering sequences and do it that way more live, or do you want to copy and paste, drag your patterns and sort of do it that way? So it's all about your workflow. So anyways, let's get into this. First up, let's get some sounds into the MV. As you may or may not know, there's multiple ways you could get sounds into MV. You could go to import and you could get some patches that they already have. You could import stuff from a CD, floppy disk, or you could just use the inputs right on the back of the MV, which is what I'm going to do here. So I have a wire coming from my computer, my laptop, into a little tube amp, back out from over there and into the MV. So this way here I could take sounds and loops and stuff from Logic, which is the DAW I'm using, sample it into MV, and then we can have some fun with it on the MV. So let's get into it. So I have a little drum pattern here. We're going to go to sampling. We're going to go to start trigger, and we'll do manual for that. There's different ways you could tell the MV to sample. You could do it by level. So whenever the volume reaches a certain level, the MV will catch the sample. It's sort of all about how you want to chop it. So I'm just going to go to manual and I'm chopping myself. So go to start. All right, boom. So we got that. It's not even an issue. Let's check it out. Chop it up. First of all, we're going to go to truncate. Had that on auto normalize, so it'll be nice and loud. I like to record it a little low. You know, keep this knob a little bit lower so you don't get that hiss noise or whatever. And bam. And I had to chop the end a little bit and got a little bit of that kick. Whoo, hold up. Let me chill with that. Damn. Okay, boom. So we're going to go to quick assign. For now, so let's assign it to a patch. We're going to assign it to patch 1. Boom. Still playing over here. Let me shut that off. All right. So we got it going on the pad, right? Let me record that. Let me just note real quick. Over here in Logic, I had the tempo at 90. Over here in the MV, I had the tempo at 90. So Logic played that pattern that I demoed from the little cue thing. It played it at 90. I have the MV at 90. Chopped the loop, perfect bar, whatever. Then we just got to see how we did. So we're going to hit record. For counting, what we're going to put it on is wait note. I really like wait note on the MV. That means whenever you hit the pad, that's when it's going to start. So if your timing sucks, like my timing sucks, and you're always hitting the pad at the awkward time, you're waiting for this, metronome to kick in, and you're off, you're awkward with it, kind of quirky with it. With wait note, boom, it's going to start as soon as you hit it. So I'm going to hold down so it'll play the whole thing. Okay, now if we put loop on, should loop pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Whatever, it's good enough for now. Depending on how much you want to fine tune your chops, you could get in there, you could fine tune it. The other thing you could do for loops is put it as an audio phrase. Let me just show you what I mean real quick. There's a little tangent or whatever, but let me just go through it real quick. Sample manager, I only have one in there. All right, so I have that drum pattern. It's chopped up already. Let me go to quick assign. Now, let me assign to an audio phrase. All right, that's perfect. Let me go to execute. Back. So let me put this one on mute. So now I have it on the audio phrase. Let me go to quick edit and let me go to trigger. Now when I hit it, the pad plays. If I hit it again, it stops. Okay, that's cool. What's the point of audio phrase? Well, you could do Bpm Sync on. Then you got to find this bass note. So bass note is 8. Boom. So we have it in there. So now it's at 90. It's going to be perfectly loop to whatever tempo you put it. So if I put the tempo at 75, it's stretching it. So if you wanted it a little tighter, you could put it as an audio phrase, wait note. We don't want direct record. We want to put it on event. For the audio tracks, when you're recording stuff, if you're going to hit the pads and stuff, you want to put it on the event. If you're going to be using, any input stuff, rapping into it, vocals into it, you put it on direct record. You know what I'm saying? So you got that in there. Let me play both. Kind of wild. Back to sampling, and let me get just get a flute going. All right, for the purposes of the tutorial, we don't really, not trying to make it hit right now, just trying to go through the workflow. So let me just get a sample in here. So right now I'm going to sample, and then the cool thing is you could sample it in, you could chop it, put it on the pads, you can mess with it. So boom, here we go. Go to truncate. We'll deal with it later, you know, chop it up a little later. Let's just get some stuff in here for now. You know what I mean? Keep it simple. All right, here we go with some brass. Boom, let's get some bass. Nice with the filters up in this MV, this bass. It's gonna sound nice with that low pass filter on it. You had to trust me on that one. Cool, let's start to assign them. So we go to project again, sample manager. What do we got? We got the flute. We're gonna go to quick assign. We're gonna go to quick assign. We're gonna go to chop. And we're going to go to auto chop. Why not? Level 6, execute. How many chops we got? 2 chops. We're going to do that again. Auto chop. We're going to go to level 3, execute. How many chops we got? 26. All right. So then what you can do when you get too many, you just start clearing a bunch. Your chops down however you want it. Let's say that's how you want them. Assign to patch. We're going to assign these chops to patch number 2. Boom. So now we got them on patch 2. And if we play them, if we hold and try to play them, we can do that, but it sounds kind of awkward. So what I like to do is go to quick edit, go to the first one, we'll go right here to Excel group, EXCL group, and since we put this on patch 2, I'm going to put each of those to number 2. 2. You got to hit each one, each pad, set them all to number 2. What it does is now they'll cut each other off. Then you hear how there's clicks. There's an easy way to fix that. Let's check it out. Go hit one of the pads, go to sample edit. This one's fine. This one is too short. Give it a crazy endpoint. It doesn't matter where it ends because you're going to be playing them. They're going to cut each other off so they can all be super long. This one's too short. Give it a crazy endpoint. It's not even an issue, trust me. This one's short. Boom. All right, okay, so you got a little decent flute chops in there. You're kind of liking it, but there's a little click in there at the start of some of them. There's a little pop because you're not taking the time to chop it, you know, pristine, right on the lines. You're just going quick, but you can make it sound good. You got to trust me on that. This is a quick way to do stuff. Here's what you do. Go to the pad. That one's fine because that's what we started off on. Quick edit. Find ones where there's a click. Each one there, they each have a little one. We're going to massage each one. Down here in amplifier, the A is for attack. We're going to put 2. No more click. This one doesn't have much, has a little put 2. Nothing. This one definitely has that little, comes in harsh, we'll put a 4. Put a 5. Fades in better. We'll just ease them in a little better. Here it'll click, massage it in. That one may need a 4. Listen to the difference in this one. With 0, Let me not hit the pad. You're probably hearing the click of the pad too. Watch here. Let me just kind of tap it. That's the click from the sound. Put it on 4. No more click. Clicks a little at the end on that one. 4. Put them all at 4. Now watch. Now I can just hold down the hold button. Hit any pad, they'll cut each other off. Let's say we don't even want to chop this. We just want to lay it down like how we did it. You know, don't sleep on the filters in here either. If you go to quick edit, over here on the left is the filter. You go to low pass, around 80 is cool. You know what I'm saying? So you could just lay that down early. Alright, so anyways, let me just touch upon a little bit the point of this video or whatever, pattern mode over here. So we'll go to pattern mode. Then what I can do is I can have all my tracks. So I got the drum pattern. I can add the rest of my tracks. I can add a track 2. Add mini tracks. Add number 3. Little horns. Add another one. Add number 4. Boom, and I build my pattern in pattern mode. So let me lay those drums, got it on wait note. Boom, so I think I may have messed that up. Yep, something happened. Oh, that's what happened. Got on the wrong BPM, so that's good to note. When I went over to pattern mode, it didn't carry over my BPM. That's right, I gotta set the BPM on each pattern. So, good to note. So it's slipping me up. So I had to record in there, let's see now, should be good. Change it to 90. Early, all right. Next, let me throw down a flute. So like you're grooving, right? You got the drum pattern. You find the pattern you want to play, and you know it. So I'm doing 2, 6, 10, 11, 7, kind of like, and that's what I would remember I want to play. But then if I do the counting thing, you know, say I want to do like a 1 measure. Yeah, it's like, nah, I mess up. How can I come right on time? Well, that's where wait note comes in. Surprised more things don't have this. So for counting, you go to wait note, pattern length, 2 measures. Now you can just start right with your pattern you were playing, and you know that first one's going to be right on the first beat because it's starting when you hit it. You know, so it's just easier. I'm not even going to lay this brass down. I'm not feeling it, but you get the point from this. And then we have the bass. Again, the wait note comes in handy. You don't even have to think about nothing. Just lay it down. You know, so now you have that pattern. and you can assign that pattern to a pad. Boom, so assign it to that number 1. Okay. Then if you go to pattern play, boom, so since I have no other patterns, nothing's going to play. And you can set it so you have it on either wait or immediate. So if you have it on wait, the next time you hit a pad, it'll wait for your pattern to play, do a full loop, and then trigger the next one. Or immediate, you can flip back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you would build your patterns. So you're in your pattern list. I got pattern 1, the BPM is 90, the length is 2 bars. I could go to the next one, select, close, boom, and I do it all again. And you know, that's, for me, I find it a little bit cumbersome, a little bit tricky to be up in the pattern mode doing my stuff, because it's like, all right, I got that pattern sitting there in the pattern list. Now I'm starting fresh. You know, for me, as opposed to being over here in the sequence mode, I like messing with the sequence mode because I could build that same pattern I had built over in pattern mode in the sequence mode, and I have the pattern right here. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is over in pattern mode, you could put it in a pad and just trigger the whole pattern. I think that's what it is. So if you want to like do your beats like that, like MPC style, like you build one pattern, boom, you build the next pattern, and then lay them down pad after pad after pad, record your beat out like that. You know, pattern mode could be cool. But for me, I feel, you know, in terms of organizing a track, building a beat, especially if I'm going to be laying vocals, I just do it all right here, because then, you know what I'm saying, you could easily highlight stuff, copy and paste stuff, you know, delete, cut. It's like a regular DAW in MV. If you have the extra VGA screen. If you don't, you could still do it in here, in the sequence edit. It's not a problem. So for me, you know, that's really my take on pattern mode. If you want to put stuff on the pads and trigger entire patterns from the pads themselves, mess with that pattern mode. If you're just trying to build a beat and build a track, you know, I'd say do it right here in sequence mode. You know, lay down. You can have your drum thing. One thing people do like to do is you could have drum patterns. Do pattern mode for your drum patterns, sort of build out your sequence of your beat with your instruments and all that stuff, and then you could just very easily go through your beat and layer drum pattern. Like you can add a pattern track to your sequence, and that's kind of where they flip it on you, where it gets to the point where it's like, oh, what? So I can add a pattern track here, and right here I can lay down, you know, entire patterns in this track. You know what I'm saying? So if you do just drums, or if you want to do different hi-hats, use it for that, or instruments, that's how you can utilize it. You get one pattern track per song that you're working on. So that may be a way you want to think about utilizing that. But, you know, again, for the most part, I just find getting a big overview, sequence view, I could build my beats quickly like that. So that's the basics, you know what I mean? Comment specifically on what more you want to see, what the trouble is. I was trying to think back to when I first had the MV, what my roadblocks were, and I think it was just digging in, getting fast with it, finding that balance of being able to do the stuff I wanted to do, and be in the flow of it, be able to navigate the machine, you know, actually get my stuff recorded, but still be in that flow where I could just play with it, have fun, tweak stuff quickly. And, you know, like similar to this, like getting this flute It's not the flute. Stuff like getting those pops out of there, you know what I mean? I'm going quick right here showing you how to do it. That was a big deal when I figured out that little attack thing, just that little A button up in there, you know, right in here. Okay, that's what's going to get it. And then, you know, this Excel group, getting the pads to cut each other off. That was key to the workflow, because then again, you know, you're over here. And especially if you're sampling from a record or whatever, you know, sampling sort of old school style, using that method, this is going to be key. This is going to be critical to get those groups going. You know, other things we can get into is layering the samples in the SMT, putting different drums on top of each other, how you would do that. You know, let me know, man. I don't know. I've been digging deep in this machine for many years, 10 years or something. So, you know, been around the block in it. It's a slept-on machine. I know a lot of people got music waiting to be made with this device, but there's a learning curve for sure. So tell me, let me know, comment below what you want to see next, and hopefully I can make it happen. Until then, we'll talk to you later. Peace.